Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Thursday, September 12th, 2024. I'm Reverend Dr. Darrell Watkins, the senior minister here at Sunshine Cathedral.
I am Reverend Dr. Robert Griffin, the executive minister. Faith and religion can be complicated for the LGBTQ plus community. Surveys show that evangelical faith is the justification for the greatest attacks on the LGBTQ plus community.
I am Reverend Kevin Tisdall, the Minister of Education. The Queer God Squad is going to explore our religious community. Let's explore the big news of the day and what it means to you.
I am Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, the Minister of Connections. This is live, and then we are available on demand. If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform and social media.
At Sunshine Cathedral, we're here to tell you that you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. This is the Sunshine Cathedral Perspective. Like many Americans, Vice President Harris's spirituality is open and blended. Presidential candidate Vice President Kamala Harris was born to and raised by her Hindu mother from India. As a child, Harris and her sister often worshiped with a neighbor at the local Church of God. As a young adult, Kamala joined the Third Baptist Church of San Francisco. In midlife, she married a man from a Jewish family, Reform. At the holidays, the vice president and her family combine elements of Diwali, Hanukkah, and Christmas. InterfaithAmerica.org reports that Harris's interreligious path is a good model for inclusivity and respect for various traditions. It also represents the spiritual journey of many Americans. One religion professor said in an interview, "Nobody is just one thing anymore." The article even points out that while GOP Vice-Presidential candidate J.D. Vance's party isn't particularly known for celebrating diversity, he was a Protestant who became an atheist who converted to Catholicism and married a Hindu. A Pew Research survey shows that not only are 20% of marriages in the U.S. multiracial, but 39% of Americans who have married since 2010 have a spouse who identifies with a religious tradition different from their own. The Queer God Squad celebrates diversity, including religious diversity, and believes that seeing the sacred value of all people is the path to healing and peace. We believe that so much that we try to model it. We are a church that comes out of the Christian tradition. We're also a church that comes out of the LGBTQ plus liberation movement. We are a church that the leadership has been educated, deeply steeped in things like queer theology, queer hermeneutics, feminist theology, liberation theology. And so we sometimes say that we are culturally Christian, but spiritually unlimited. And so in this historically Christian church, we are also more than that. And so you'll hear readings from the Quran, you'll hear readings from A Course in Miracles, always from the Bible also, but which Bible? I mean, we will sometimes use the Eastern Orthodox Bible or the Roman Catholic Bible or the Protestant Bible. And then added to that, we'll have poetry, secular poetry. We will have A Course in Miracles. We will have the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, the Pali Canon, just wherever truth may be found. We want to share that. We'll sing. We'll have Buddhist chants as well as gospel hymns and Motown, all in the same service. And so we blend a lot of traditions to make a new thing. If you look at the vestments, you'll think we're High Church Anglican. We have communion every week, but what it means is almost self-determined. Each person decides what they're doing, why they're doing it. We have an altar call, sort of like they would in a Pentecostal healing service. But it's much more ordered. No one's going to, usually, not so far, will anyone go running around and just hop in pews or whatever. So yeah, it's just this blend of traditions and experiences and languages, and it seems to work here. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe that's why, because nobody's just one thing anymore. Right. And so to offer this smorgasbord, this cafeteria, the Reverend Dolores Perry used to say, I believe in cafeteria-style religion. Put it all out there, let people pick what they want. Mm-hmm. What's tasty to them, what's going to nourish them, what's going to feed them and fill them. She also used to say, and I think this is actually part of it, Reverend Dolores Perry would say, I don't call us children of God because I want us to grow up. And I think that it is sort of grown up to say, I can think through and try on and examine and experiment and find what's good for me. And then when that changes, change with it. And that is intentionally what we try to offer at Sunshine Cathedral.
Right. And I have such a great appreciation for Vice President Harris's spirituality. When you have open, blended, I think you become more open-minded, aware of other faith traditions and what is meaningful to them, empathetic, sympathetic, just very aware. I think to me, and this is just me, my thought is that when you are open like that, it makes a more well-rounded person. Yeah.
Yes, it does. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
And the whole idea of being exposed to different faith walks has to, in my opinion, make you a better person. It makes you more understanding of where people come from.
Right.
If you go someplace, again, this is my opinion, folk, if you go to a church that tells you that there is only one way to do things, your church is not telling you the truth. Please try to find a way to open yourself up to new and different thoughts. Doesn't have to be better thoughts, but it's different than what you thought of yesterday. We at the church always tell people that what you believe today can and should change tomorrow. I just saw a thing, I don't know who posted it, it may have been you. It was a quote from Muhammad Ali. If at 50 you still think the way you did at 20, then you've just wasted 30 years of your life.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's
I mean,
not right.
it is just that simple. Every single day you learn a little bit of something. Every single day you're can be exposed to something that's a little different. And if you keep getting exposed to newer things, then you have to change. You just have to. You can't stay the same unless you're that stubborn that you don't want to ever take away your security blanket. Toss that security blanket off. Try something new. You might find that Technicolor jacket that you put on is just what you needed. Amen.
Absolutely.
You know, thinking back to JFK and why people didn't want him to be president. We don't want that Catholic in that office.
Yeah.
And to now thinking that even when during his presidency, how reflective society was of embracing Catholicism in a different kind of way. And he exposed what it meant to be, I'm going to say, a good Catholic, if you will. And to now to think that we have the potential ability to have our next first family be even more reflective of what America looks like and truly really is, I think. How much more of an example can you have of that in our nation right now?
Yes.
That when you have that much interreligiousness going on or interconnectedness going on in your own family, what an exciting moment to be the leader of a nation that is that is trying to be the best example of what it means to be. We are all here. We're all in this together, and we can all get along by living it through our spiritual beliefs, our practices, and that we can all come together. I mean, just think about that one potential next first family. All that's mixed in that family.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot just between her and her husband. That's a lot right there.
Yes.
And then you throw in all the other ones. It's like, this is just friggin' amazing.
Yes.
I mean, just the makeup of the family from a faith-based perspective, of spirituality side, that's a dissertation right there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this small group, it's a blended family.
Yes.
So it's a chosen family.
Yeah.
Because this family is black and white and Asian and Christian and Jewish and Hindu and very, in different amounts.
Yes.
And that's America.
Yeah.
That's the world. And so that's actually beautiful. We have had 2 Catholic presidents. And we have had 1 Jewish vice presidential candidate, senator from Connecticut, Lieberman.
Yeah.
And so, but we've not yet, having a Jewish first gentleman will be another that'll be a first. It'll be the first time that someone who isn't culturally Christian has been in the White House.
Right.
Now we have had, especially in the first half of our country, we did have some Unitarians.
Yes, we did.
But in those days, they were still considered Protestant. Now the Unitarian Universalists are sort of religious pluralists. They're sort of their own faith tradition now. But in those days, you wouldn't know a Unitarian church from a Methodist church, except you wouldn't hear anything about the Trinity once you got there.
Gotcha.
And so yeah, this will be the first time to have had a non-Christian, still faithful, still religious, but a non-Christian person in the White House. There will be some ugliness. That'll be one more thing people will do, but I still think we're going to rise above that. I think it's such a good thing that good prevails.
Yeah.
And if anyone has to nig against that, then go check yourself. I'm sorry.
Well, and I need Christians to know this. The Christians who are against people who aren't Christians. If it weren't for non-Christians, we wouldn't have Christians.
Right.
The people don't call themselves Christian until the 2nd century. We don't see it until the book of Acts, which a strong scholarly tradition has been building that now places that somewhere between 110 and 130, well into the 2nd century. So we don't see people calling themselves Christians, even in our scripture. Nobody in scripture calls themselves Christians until Acts. And Acts, even as it was previously dated way back when, was still at the end of the 1st century. And now we're thinking it may have been well into the 2nd century. People weren't calling themselves Christians for a while. So there's that. And second of all, if you take out Judaism, you don't have a Bible. You don't have our Bible.
Right.
Because the Old Testament is the Hebrew Bible, and the New Testament are Jewish people writing letters and gospels and stories and biographies and sermons based on what they believed from their Hebrew Bible. So we have Jewish people with Jewish scriptures writing more Jewish stories. So if you take out Judaism, you have to throw the entire Bible out just right away.
Hello.
If you take out Greek paganism, you have to take out Paul, who was not only Jewish, but he was trying to deal with Greek pagans and using their philosophies and their poets and their traditions to do that, and making his Jewish Jesus look an awful lot like Greek heroes and gods and demigods. So if you take out Greek paganism, we got nothing. If you take out Zoroastrianism, we got nothing, because a lot of Judaism was changing and evolving during Persian conquest, and Persia was Zoroastrian. Even in our stories in the Gospels, we have these magi, these Zoroastrian priests from the east, from Persia, coming to visit the Holy Family. So if you take out Zoroastrianism, we don't have Christianity. If you take out Judaism, we don't have Christianity. If you take out Greek paganism, we don't have Christianity. The reason we are Christians is because we were very good at borrowing and adapting other things. There's nothing, absolutely nothing original to Christianity. So if you think it has to be Christianity or nothing, you've really painted yourself in a historical corner, because Christians are Jews who reached out to Greek pagans and borrowed everyone's stuff as they went along.
So we're blended too?
100%.
Let's see what gets you.
So,
All right.
So well done, Madam Vice President. You are living the history of Christianity, and we're here for it. Well, that's today with the Queer God Squad. We want to thank you for joining us. We're here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ plus community is talking about.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's largest progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. And we are all in this together. Remember that.
You are God's miracle, not God's mistake.
Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.